Hold on. Go ahead.
So I'm coming back. Let me clean up this thing. I have nothing against the two knuckles. It's true. I was trained myself. Look at this. Two knuckle push up. All my life I'm doing it. But when it comes to practical fighting, yes, two knuckles, if you land, is great. But sometimes you end up catching one knuckle. And this is why you break these hands. Sensei Benny, both of us have the same problem. And we all do. We aim for the knuckles. But the idea is when you're wearing a glove, you don't have that option to make a mistake, because your idea is with the flat hand forward. So when we're standing in the boxing stance, watch me, my hands are just by my jaw. The idea is not to pick up the elbow, and remember what I said, when you push a car, you put the elbows into your body because that has bigger leverage. As compared to picking the elbows, it has no leverage because you're using your tricep and the shoulder. So I'm not an expert in boxing, but I can show you some of the good stuff they can do.
Wait. You're not an expert in boxing?
Just, maybe I don't know, just won the Golden Glove, being a national fighter of the year.
Okay.
But professional. But still,
Yeah.
I'm not considered.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. You weren't like Floyd Mayweather, Oscar De La Hoya.
But I did work with James Toney for all his boxing camps. And James Toney, one of the best cruiserweight to middleweight to heavyweight champion after he knocked out Evander Holyfield with a body shot. He ended his career. But how did I know about this jabs working with him and Stan Ward, 8-time California heavyweight champion? It's because they generate power in a very different way. Now, let me explain to you what karate punch did. See, this is karate. They teach you how to karate. They teach you how to use your core and to turn. You're standing square. In boxing, they teach you use your shoulder, like turning your shoulder into it, and then you turn the right hand into it. Now, I want to explain what boxing and karate were trying to do. There's nothing wrong with karate, and there's nothing wrong with boxing. In fact, they both work. But what was karate? Karate was from close range impact. They teach you how to generate close impact. And that's why Bruce Lee was doing short-inch punches. He did short 6-inch punches. What was 6-inch punches? He is actually trying to generate power from 6 inches by using his body weight, by turning someone. That's what he did. He used his body weight by twisting the weight into a short second. So karate was this. Karate was based on 6 inches of punches from short range, from generate power from short. Boxing is now not just the arm, but you have the whole weight to it. So when I'm boxing, watch my elbows stay to the end, and at the end I'm going to step to it and punch it. So when I jab, I'm moving with my hand. I'm cooking up. Brian, come in closer here so you can see the back with the footwork. So when I come inside, I'm stepping in with my whole body weight. Quick. There we go. You see the step? You can break the jab. You can step the whole. Now my punch, if I'm punching, like this is stopping. If I'm just using my hand punch, it will just bother him. But this will break him. My whole weight, stepping into it. You go into something. You step with the back, but the power comes from this leg, not this leg. It's this leg. And they all have to land at the same exact time. I know, Brian, you have questions, so please, go ahead.
Okay, first question. Obviously, you did already address the two-knuckle thing, because everyone knows that you're supposed to strike with the first two knuckles. It's been said so many times. Even a random guy on the street who just knows very, very little, he might even remember that.
Yeah, well, it's true. They tell you to hit with a bare hand. I prefer, you might end up teaching one or two. You aim for the stars, you might end up getting to the moon. So it's true, we aim for the knuckles. It's very true. We practice Makiwara board. I've been training it on look at my knuckle sizes. I broke this knuckles how many times, Look at the size, how flat it is. All Makiwara board, hitting a Japanese way, Bushido style, all the time. It's true, but in a real combat scene, when it happens, you end up not hitting the right. You might hit the edge of it. It's better when you're wearing gloves. It's better to hit 4 flat hand. Flat hand, it's like almost like a slap, you have no shot. But if you hit it with one hand, you end up pushing it towards you and breaking it. I've seen it so many times. It happens all the time. Yes, you have to condition it. But in a combat, you don't have perfect targets, never in one place. Always something's moving. Sensei Benny broke his hand. He hit the guy's body and he picked the knee up, and the sensei ended up hitting his knee all the way up to the hand. And that knuckle went all the way inside, and you can see, same thing I have with my right hand, and I have with my left hand, is you braced it up. But if you have a flat hand, it has, yes, it's not penetrated, but it has a better opportunity to land without hurting your hand. Without generating your hand. So when I do my body, watch, This is power right hand. I'm going to talk about the right hand later on, but let's
No, let's stay on jab. Don't get crazy,
Yeah.
Majid.
Okay.
The people want you to stay on the jab.
Jab. Okay, jab. Look, with flat hand jab. So if I just say, Ali just would slap. Ali would slap his hand, open his hand up, and we just slap. See, this was fast hand because he's so quick. Would you open hand?
What are you hitting with right now?
I'm hitting with my forehand knuckle. So you in the glove, you can't close the punch.
Right, but what about the people who don't care about the boxing glove? They're like,
yes.
they go, no, how do I hit the guy?
Here's the thing. If you hit with the slap hand too, but you're not slapping, your hands are hand. Most boxers in old school, you teach us to make a punch like this. Why? Because most people can't close their hands properly. They end up doing this, you see their hand crooked.
Yeah, then they're gonna break
So they
it.
end up
Yeah.
breaking your fingers, jamming the fingers. So another way is to call cup hand. You cup it and you put your fingers here. So now you have it, it keeps you cupped. Because in the glove, in the boxing glove, it's the same thing. You're almost cupping it.
Is that safe for
If
without
you
a boxing
squeeze-
glove?
Without the boxing glove,
If you're bare knuckle, is that safe?
it can be if you practice on the back. It is. If you practice, like, see, I have my cup here. It's safer than most people are not used to this. Fist punching. But fist punching is stronger because the air inside the emptiness is filled up with your fingers. Now it's compact. The compact helps it. But if you're learning the beginning, I would teach you to open the cup and practice with full hand. Like this, hands will get used to go flat. Practice with this. So when I go with the jab, I use my weight into it. Remember, the weight is with the back leg. And it's pulling back is the key. Most people punch. How you snap the punch is when you pull back, just like the chamber. Pulling back is the key, like a whip. When you punch, if you push it, then you just push the punch. You'll never get it. The key is pulling it back. That's how you get the whip. Pulling the punch back. You never see it coming. Remember, back leg pushes it. Now, I'm at 12 o'clock. My shoulders are at 3 and 9. Watch this, 12 o'clock. So I go, boom. When I jab, it turns. And now, look, my whole back is into it. You see my back? Now, put my hand, my back goes into it. So put my hand here, my back goes into it. The trick is, if I stand square, my shoulders are square right now. I lost another 6 inches of my mechanic, but watch this. When you box, you turn and you go another 6 inches, and now my shoulder's protected, I punch straight into it. Flat hand. If you hit the knuckle, perfect, nothing against it, but most likely, I'm the full hand. For now, we'll talk about this. Boom.